How you doing, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I thought today we'll do something a little different and go through some of my worst sells on eBay so far. Things I bought in the low return on investment, my ROI, sorry I had brain fog then, and the deficit zone and the lowest profits items that I've bought. I thought, yeah, it's been a bit of a learning experience really the last sort of 3 weeks selling back on eBay. And I think like going over these and kind of explaining how I got them and whatnot and why I'm in deficit might help somebody who's starting on eBay, but also the plan going forward, you know, what I tend to do to improve that and to kind of reduce that risk really, because yeah, it's been a bit of a pain to be honest. But everything's a learning curve, right? I mean, it's so hard when buying like from charity shops. We all know that they are expensive, and I'm not saying that's you know, a really negative thing, because you know they have to make some money too, right, to support the charity. But also it kind of makes you do a bit more product research. It makes you kind of dive into kind of product research and what is there to sell, you know, at a profit. You know, what can be found at charity shops at a profit, and the things they do miss. But also kind of helps you broaden your ideas of other ways of sourcing. You know, I was thinking car boots, but I work every other weekend, and the weekends when I don't work I've got the children, so it's really difficult for me to get to car boots. There is bulk buy, but I've not had a massive return on my investment where I can invest money in to a bulk buy, and a lot of bulk buys is clothing items, and I do tend to want to stay away from that a little bit. I do want to try different niches really, and one of the main reasons I don't want to do clothing is because I find it very saturated now. You know, 4 years ago or 5 years ago when I started doing eBay with clothing, it didn't seem as saturated as it is now, but it does seem like a saturated market, and the sell-through rate for clothing, regardless of the brand, really just seems to be quite slow. You could be holding on to something for months, 6 months, 7 months before it sells. You know, I want items that got kind of a quicker sell-through rate. You know, I picked up 2 things. They're not my best-selling things. I did make profit on them, but the sell-through rate was massive. I sold one within 3 hours and the other one within half an hour. You might think, well, I might have priced it too low or whatever, but I didn't. I priced it competitively towards the market. I checked the sales, I checked what was listed, the demand was higher than what was there, the price margin was available to see through Terapeak. It's not called Terapeak now, is it? It's product research, but it was there to see. So, you know, it was an easy decision to price it the way I priced it, and yeah, it sold really quick. So I want to try and find more items out, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, I thought we'll just have a look at some of the awful things that I have bought to flip online to make a deficit. I may as well, some of this stuff I bought, I give it away and gave them a quid or two as well. So let me get the chest strap a minute and fire the old laptop up. Sourcing, yeah, it's really helping me, to be honest, think outside the box in terms of sourcing, you know, and what I'm going to source and where I'm going to source. So that's definitely something I'm going to be looking into over the next few weeks, because charity shops are good and you can pick up some great things, but I don't think this thing as a reseller, I just feel like you can't rely primarily on that source of revenue. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to branch out a little bit. Let me just pop you in here. Oh, I don't know as well. I just thought I'll just mention real quick. I've done a few shorts. Now I've done these shorts. I actually made them last year when I was overcoming my own sort of mental health issues. So if you see a few shorts there, I've put them there to basically try and bring awareness around men's mental health, but also to try and encourage people, really. So that's why I've put them up there. So if you have seen the shorts, then I know they're not eBay related content, but if you have felt encouraged by them, then that's great. That's the intention for them. I might put more up. I don't know yet. We'll see. Anyway, let's get plugged in. Anyway, hopefully you can see that all right. So we've got a Levi's 501s men's jeans, 32. They were sold 12 days ago. They didn't cost me anything. They were an old pair of jeans that don't fit anymore. And they sold for £11.60. And I made a net sales of minus £5.96. So let's have a look at why that is. So we'll just go into here real quick. So they sold 36p insertion fee. So yeah, they sold for £11.60. They shipped to the buyer, but he opened a return, so the debited amount was £11.60. They sold on the 22nd of January. It took less than a day to list, so I didn't have them in inventory very long. It took them 20 days to sell once they were listed. Only had one of them. They were free. But yeah, selling cost was £5.96, but the net return was minus £5.96 because he opened a return. I've not actually received the jeans yet, but when they come, excuse me, when they come, this if they come, this will probably clear, or I will relist them. But to be honest, the return was open ages ago, and yeah, they haven't come back yet. So the next one, I don't know if you watched my previous video where I picked up the Duplo. So the cost of that Duplo was £3 and it sold for £5. They gave me a net sale after fees and everything of minus £2.34. So we'll just look a little bit into that. So they were listed on the 12th of February. They purchased from Thirsk for £3. Listed on the 12th of February, listing change. I've reduced the price from £7.96 to £6 on the 18th of Feb because they weren't getting any traction. And yeah, they took 7 days to sell. That's my fees for that, which came with postage. Cost to post was £2.94, so it was a minus £2.34. So not a great investment there. Should I have even listed that? Probably not, but I did. Somebody's got a nice new toy that I bought for them, so well done there. I thought Lego would do quite well, to be honest, but yeah, I won't be buying Duplo Lego again, probably. Normal Lego and, you know, other types of Lego I probably will, but Duplo, unless it's at a really reasonable price, I won't be buying again. And if it's more, you know, if I bought 3 of these for £3, then, you know, you're laughing, aren't you? The next one was the Imaginext DC Super Friends. These used to be a good market for these when I was selling on eBay a while ago. But the market seems to have gone down since then. That cost me £1, which I thought was great. Sold for £8.49, which is fantastic. But I made a loss of £1.25. And the reason that being is because the postage for that cost me £5.64. Yeah, not great at all. I only charged for £3.50 shipping, so I undercharged with shipping on that one there. So yeah, not a great buy on that one with a deficit of £1.25. And you know, they were on my store for 19 days as well, so I was holding on for them for 19 days, eventually give them away to somebody, and then while I was there, I opened my wallet up and give them an extra £1.25. But it's learning experience, isn't it? I won't pick this up again because because they're a pain in the ass to ship, to be honest, because it's quite a big bulky thing. So yeah, I wasn't really happy about that. The next bad one was these Rockports. Now I bought these Rockports for £4. Rockports I always thought was a good brand. Well, I knew they were a good brand for shoes. So yeah, I kind of took a punt on this. And I paid £4 for them and they sold for £8.10, which give me a deficit of 75p, which is not great. They were, yeah, so I bought them on the 5th of February and first for £4. Listed them on the 5th for £6 with a 36 insertion fee. They weren't shifting and looked at the sell-through rate was really bad. So I dropped the price down to £4.50 and then they sold. And yeah, I made a deficit there of minus 75p. So that is my worst buys so far on eBay. But over here, let's take a little look
a few other sales. We start to get a bit better with this one here. The other Duplo that I paid £3 sold for £9.10. After fees and everything, I made £1.21. So not a massive profit. It was a 48% return, a 40% return on investment. With a return on investment, I want to be between 50 and 100%. So 40 is a little low for me for a return on investment. So because of that, I would stay away. Well, I will anyway, from Lego Duplo. If I bought both of these for £3, then yeah, that's fine. But maybe I could have bundled them up together and got a bit more. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? This one here didn't cost me anything, and that was a Nintendo DS slot cover, port cover. Yeah, didn't cost me anything. Sold it for £4.50, made £1.56 on that. This was another bad buy as well. The vintage 1961 Waddington's Monopoly. I paid £6.99 for it. I paid too much money for this. That was the problem with this one. It sold for 15 quid, but I only made £1.96 back on that, which was a really low return of investment of 28%, because I just paid too much for it in terms of shipping. You know, it cost me £2.94 to ship, which was fine. With all the other fees on top, yeah, I did, you know, my profit margin was 13%. So it wasn't really a great buy, that one. A 28% return on investment is what I want to avoid, really. We're looking at 50% to 100 for that. And then we go down to the Star Wars Rebel Strikes. That didn't cost me anything. Sold for £6.50. After fees was £3.09. That was quite good. The Nintendo DS Band Hero, again, it didn't cost me anything. Sold for £8.55, £3.52 on the back end, which is fine. Same with the Tiger Woods GameCube, £7.10 that sold for, with £3.89 on the back end as well. This Imaginext Super Friends was actually quite a good one. It was a little smaller than the other one. I bought that for £1 and sold that for £15.18. The shipping was the same as the other one, I believe. Let's have a look. Yep, the cost to ship was £4.85, so a little bit less, but my return on investment in that is 439%, which is massive, which is great. So I'm really happy with that net return, even though it is under what I'm actually aiming for, which is £10 net profit per item. So will I buy that again? Very unlikely that I will. Now we're going down to the another one here. It has a great return of investment, 161%, which is great. I made £4.80 with that. It sold for £13.98 and it cost me £2.99, and that was this Poppy figure. This actually sold within an hour of listing, which was great, and I got the comps right for that. I didn't undersell it. I sold it at the right price. I priced it right. Everything just went right with that. I wish I had loads of them because it literally sold so quick. And yeah, the return on investment was 161%, which is really good. Net return of 480, which I'm happy with that, really, considering, you know, I only paid £1.99 for it. You know, total pay it was £7.76. So yeah, it cost me £2.99. Selling cost was £6.19. Total cost was £9.18, which was £4.80 on the back end, of 161% return on investment. So I'm really happy with that. Would I buy it again? No, I wouldn't. I'll tell you why. Because the net return is less than £10. I want to aim for between £9 and £10 net return per unit. So if I had two of these and doubled them up, then I'd probably do that, or maybe as a bundle next time. But yeah, that's kind of my new model at the minute. Yeah, them Henry Lloyd sailing shorts, I paid a 10 and 4. They were pretty good. They sold for £23.10, which was fine. I thought I'd get a lot more for that. I did overpay for them, but I thought they were worth a lot more just because of the quality that they were. But I still made £5.77 net, which was still over the 50% mark, which I'm aiming for in terms of return of investment. But yeah, it's not quite hit the bracket that I'm looking for, really, with regards to what I want per unit. The same again with the DS. costs £15, so I paid too high for this. It sold for £28.60. Return on investment was £6.47, which was just underneath the 50% return of investment threshold that I wanted. Yeah, I got £6.47 there, sorry, the net return on that. If I paid £10 for that, £8 for that, then definitely would have gone for that. That would have brought this up to around the £10 mark and increased the return of investment over 50%. So that's kind of the model I'm going for. I just need to pay a bit less, really, for that. The next two that one didn't cost me anything. Got a bit on the back end. This one was massive return on investment as well, 225% return on investment, which is really good, really. I paid £4 for that one, and it sold for £20.08, and I got £8.99 back. That's actually kind of the model I'm going for. Pay for £5, list for 20, between 25, and get £10 back. Yeah, that's kind of really good model, what I am aiming for. Again, another one here, perfect example of the model that I'm trying to push. Pay for £5, sell for 25, return £10, well, £9.06, between 9 and 10 anyway, with a high return of investment of 181%. That is great. Again, on the next one, I got it right here as well, with the Lee Cooper top. Bought for £8.75, sold for £26.08, and yeah, £9.53 on the net sales with 109% return on investment. That is what I want every time, is this model. Again, I got it right here. This Downfall board game, I paid £5.55, sold for £22.08, £9.88 in investment, 178% return on investment, £9.88 net sale, sorry, not investment. So again, that went well. And, you know, they just kind of get better. This Russell Hobbs, this actually got returned, but the guy didn't send it and the case was closed. But again, bought for £5, sold for £23.59, £12, £42 net profit with a 248% return on investment. And they're all pretty similar now as well through the rest of the sales there, which I won't go into. I mean, with the sold, if I go back to sold real quick and look at this one, I mean, I can, with this bit of software, which is fantastic, look at where I bought it here, and it brings me everything I bought in that shop that day. So I bought 3 products that day at the Oxfam in Boroughbridge. My total spend in that shop was £15.97. My income was £28.98. My net return was only £1.49, which is a 9% return on my investment, which is really low, which a total payout is £17.46. But I still have the third item listed here, the vintage Waddington's Monopoly game, which I imagine I'll get about 15 quid to 20 quid for. So that return of investment will increase, and the net income. So it is all kind of small numbers at the minute, but we are getting there. So yeah, that is the plan going forward. Nice. So there we have it. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, a lot of bad buys there, really. But, you know, I've only been doing it 3 or 4 weeks, haven't I? And, you know, what I sold before was clothing. But the market has changed massively since I was reselling. I feel like I'm kind of starting again as a noob, which is good, you know, especially if you guys are new to reselling. I want to be kind of transparent as possible as well, you know. So I will be doing another sales review at the end of February. That'll be quite interesting. I'm running at a deficit at the minute, but we go more into that. That's because I bought racking and stuff and other sort of supplies. But overall, I think I'm still in profit since starting. But yeah, so the model that I'm going for is basically 1 times 4. So if I buy something for £1, then I'm going to want £4 back, if that makes sense. So, but that's not really hitting that £10 net profit threshold that I really want to push and try and get. And that's the model I want to try and go for. So that would be spending £5 and selling at £20 to £25 in order to get £9 to £10 net. So that's kind of going to be my focus going forward, you know, at the minute, until I can afford bigger risks. You know, I'd like to spend £10 and get £40 to £50 on the back end. I'd like to spend £20 and get 60 to 80 on the back end of that, and so on, you know, 4 times as much. But I'm not there yet. You know, we are still investing in small amounts of money that I'm selling, you know, what eBay brings in. So, but yeah, any advice, any comments that you might have, then yeah, go ahead and drop them there. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.